Hey guys, Hikari here, and with the most recent chapters of One Punch Man, I think it's become very evident that the power scaling in the series currently is honestly kinda insane, and compared to the webcomic and even the earlier chapters of the Monster Association, the feats characters are doing right now are very crazy. But I wanted to kind of give my thoughts on the recent chapter and how strong I feel Saitama will likely be if he ever goes full power, and how strong he even currently is right now. Right now in the manga, we are currently seeing the fight between Saitama and Garo, and how just them clashing at the start gave Blast the rightful feelings that they were going to cause immeasurable damage to Earth just from two serious punches clashing. And this shows us that not just Garo, but Saitama is already way too strong to fight seriously on Earth, and Earth itself can't handle him using even a fraction of his strength to fight Garo. At this point, it's not an exaggeration to say that Saitama is easily beyond planetary levels of strength, and we even get more confirmation of this later on in the chapter when he does the one thing that everybody is really talking about a lot lately. But after being essentially teleported to one of Jupiter's moons, which if we search up which one of the moons it likely is, we find out that it's most likely Io, and this moon is slightly larger than Earth's own moon, so it's not a planet necessarily, it's not that big, but it's still a very big celestial body compared to what we've seen in the series. And not only did Saitama completely blow off Awakened Garo's fully going for the kill against him, he casually table flips the entire moon and reduces it all to rubble. This scene right here is probably the biggest feat of strength that we've seen so far in the series, and will completely change how we view a fight between anybody that can actually match Saitama in strength and hurt him. Garo hasn't shown any abilities of this caliber yet, and even Boros had to use his strongest move as a last resort, and that move is what we likely suspect could have destroyed Earth, was easily punched away by Saitama. So his collapsing star roaring cannon, which many people suspect actually could damage Earth or could have destroyed Earth, which I do subscribe to that. I do think that it likely could have destroyed Earth, and Saitama obviously casually punched that away. And I do feel like the power scaling since then has also been kind of crazy, and almost makes Boros not seem as strong as he really was. But he definitely was strong, and shouldn't be taken lightly by the community going forward. It's just that the power scaling right now is kind of crazy, but Boros is definitely strong, and I feel like maybe we should even get like a kind of redraw of all of that to kind of keep up with what we're getting with Garo currently in the story. I do see a lot of people also on Reddit and different other forums and stuff saying that they kind of hate how the story kind of diverted from how the original webcomic went, which I do kind of wish a lot of different scenes kind of stayed closer to how the webcomic portrayed them. And in terms of Garo's strength right now, we have to remember that Garo is technically doing all of this because he is basically a proxy of God in the story. So it makes sense that Garo is going to be this strong right now in the story if he's getting power directly from probably the one person that can actually match Saitama in strength. I'm going to be touching more on this later on in the video, but we do have to keep in mind that he's only really doing all of these crazy feats because of the intervention of God. And honestly, I feel like without the intervention of him, he probably would have stayed about at the same level of power that he was displaying in the original version of the chapters that Murata kind of retconned and kind of threw away, where Garo was, doing like mountain busting, almost earth busting feats where like he was going directly through the earth. So I think that's like more akin to what Garo should be able to do, but obviously because of the intervention, he's doing these crazy feats right now where he's actually matching Saitama's punches, kind of. But to get back on topic though, with all of the different feats of strength that Saitama's displayed in these recent chapters, we have to realize that we've always known that Saitama's strength was beyond the scope of what Earth can handle, and that he's never going to be able to go full power on Earth. I've always suspected that if Saitama's ever going to fight, he's going to have to get teleported to some type of dream dimension or some type of other planet or star system, honestly, just somewhere that isn't Earth. And I think that's insane how his strength is, and I feel like the fact that he's at the point where he's casually destroying moon-sized cosmic structures shows that he could easily do this to a celestial body such as Earth if he really wanted to. And we also have to remember that the criteria for a disaster level god being is that it must be able to pose a threat to all of humanity. And if Saitama can casually table flip planets with them being completely destroyed, I think it's likely that he's beyond disaster level god, at least by Earth standards. And I feel like the community as a whole has known that Saitama is technically a god level threat to Earth, but we basically gotten confirmation from it from the recent chapters and, earlier from his fight with Boros. He casually swatted away that attack that likely could have destroyed the Earth. To sum up the video though, I think that everything at this point in the story has shown that Saitama is easily disaster level god and will most likely win against Gaara without having to really go full power. And I do understand that he's throwing technically serious punches, but I feel like me and other people reading know that these serious punches aren't his full strength and he's still technically holding back. I feel like these serious punches, like they're just a slightly stronger version of his normal punch, kind of like, you can like playfully punch somebody compared to like, kind of hitting them a little bit harder. And I think that's kind of like what he's doing right now. He's not going full power. He's just throwing serious punches. I feel like these are obviously going to be different from his usual strong punches, like if he was actually going full power on somebody. So these are completely different serious punches versus him likely going full strength. And we also have to remember that just from God bestowing some of his strength to Garo caused him to be able to push Saitama this far, which Saitama I feel isn't really backed into a corner. He's not really in trouble, but this is the farthest that we've ever seen Saitama pushed. And this is just from God giving Garo just a little bit of his power. And this kind of shows that the named God is not for show and that he's going to be the only person in the series likely that can match Saitama in strength and push him to his limits. I think it will likely be him as the final villain of the series or the final person that Saitama has to fight, and I think that fight is not going to be easy for Saitama. I think that's going to be the first time we see Saitama bleed, Saitama really get fatigued, tired, and the first time we see him actually struggle. And I do want to make a How Strong Is God video later on. I do want to do that, so I'm going to kind of leave that on the back burner, but I do think he's the only person that is going to be able to match Saitama in strength and actually push Saitama to his limits and make him really work hard on a fight for the first time since he became Saitama, since he became a hero. So I definitely think that's going to be the case, but watch out for a video specifically on him in the future. I really do want to get that out there. And I also want to say thank you for watching this video and let me know what you guys thought of it. Did you agree with anything I had to say? I really do think that Gaara right now is he's not going to really push Saitama there. He's not going to cause him to really work too much harder, but I definitely do think the recent chapters are interesting. And do let me know in the comments if you like this video, and if you do like it, you should honestly subscribe to the channel. I make a lot of theory videos like this, and I usually make a lot of Black Clover, My Hero type videos, and I'm probably going to be doing a top 10 quirks in My Hero video soon, top 10 or 15. I do want to do something like that since I have a lot of opinions on some of the stronger quirks in the series, but definitely let me know what you guys thought of the video, and thank you for watching, and I'm out. Peace.